Well, hello and welcome everybody to the new health conversation. And for all the sensors out there, I always tell you, we stay within the community guidelines. Here's why. We only quote from medical peer-reviewed studies that are in the public forum. Everybody can look at it. There's nothing made up. There aren't any claims to be made. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies backing up everything we're talking about. It's completely safe. We don't make any claims. We simply stick to the medical proof. We've also written 4 best-selling books, so we have a lot of our original content that we talk about. There's nothing to buy. We don't sell anything. There's no products. There's nothing to buy. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. So hello, Colleen. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Patty. Are you all curious? First of all, what do you think about that picture? How long would it take any of you to lose 20 pounds? She lost 21 pounds and 38 inches unless we made it up or we're faking it or we did AI or we did photoshopping. We did none of those. Can you all see? Look at her day 1, look at her stomach area from her hips up, and then look at day 30. That's with no exercise allowed because the researchers that created this didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, they said, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. This was strictly this protocol, which was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. We're going to go over all that in just a moment and show you or explain to you exactly what did she do to have that happen. But there's more. I want to show you Julie. Look at this, everybody, 35 pounds in 37 days. Do you think it's the same woman? Do you think we photoshopped it? Do you think we changed it? I know a lot of people come on and think that we've, messed around with this. We haven't messed around with anything. That's the actual photo. By the way, that's about 8 years old. She's been able to keep the weight off now for more than 8 years. And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. Not that that matters, but this is his daughter. So you be the judge. Is it the same woman? I want all of you to ponder that. 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. And they measured water. She lost no water weight and actually gained 6 to 9% in muscle from day 1 through the 3 months that she was on this. But look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Look at that change. You see how dramatic that is. Can any of you even believe that it's real? Do you think it's the same person? Hello, Bren. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Paul. Hello, Dee Dee. How many of you are struggling with your weight right now? How many of you on these diets thinking they're actually going to work long term? Because all the medical proof now, well, here's what should frighten all of us. This is a study done by Johns Hopkins Medical School. The title, Study Predicts Obesity Apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to you like whatever diet you're on is going to work long term? Because the medical evidence says, and I'm going to read it to you in just a moment, that 2/3 of you going on any diet will gain back more weight than you lost. I mean, that's really the sad truth. Now, why don't diets work? What did they do to create these results that we're looking at here? So we got Con Mom, we got Marsha, we got OKT Win 89 EW, we got Amy, we got Lady G. Again, do any of you put it in the chat? Do you think it's the same woman, Dee Dee or Paul Whaley or Sheila or Bryn? Do any of you think it's the same woman? Before I switch off, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly how are these amazing results occurring. And the last one I want to show you is an older man, but I don't just want to show you his weight loss. What do you see his medical changes, okay? He lost 40.8 pounds and 52.5 inches from his neck to his ankles in 30 days. That's 30 days, everyone. That is not Photoshop. That is not fake. It's not AI. We don't do that because the thing we have going for us are these peer-reviewed human trial studies which back up every single thing that I'm talking about. Every single thing that they're doing is backed by medical proof. See, we don't have to make claims. When you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's not up for debate. It's irrefutable medical evidence. They've already been examined. Lots of people come on here and they want to, I don't know, maybe cause trouble, but they want to argue with me. Well, the problem with that is science doesn't have any emotions. You can't argue with. When you have peer-reviewed human trial studies on human beings, not on mice, rats, or chimpanzees, or in a petri dish, it's already been proven that it's for real and it's safe. Marcia, no. I'm sorry. What are you saying you don't think it's the same man, or were you saying before you didn't think Is this what you were referring to? You don't believe it's the same woman, Marcia? Just to clarify, just so I know. I'm just really curious. Kathy, Will, and Sunshine joined from your posts. Yes, so Marcia, you're saying you don't believe it's the same woman, am I correct? Which is fine. But Marcia, it's the daughter of a friend of mine. We don't have to Photoshop stuff, okay? But let me give you the crowning glory, okay, to prove to you, all of you, why this is so significant. So not only are the 10 peer-reviewed studies, but they were ultimately responsible for this. This just came out 3 days ago. It's the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world for 80 years. You don't get on the cover of Women's World with something that's not real, that's not backed up by medical science. So everything that I'm showing you, Marcia, or anybody else, is backed by these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now, another thing, these two women, I coached them. I know them, the mother and the daughter. The daughter, who's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds, or actually 51 pounds in 90 days. The mom lost 91 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2 years. This is not a diet. It's like nothing any of you have ever done before. And Marcia, I appreciate your comments. Kathy Williams, what is this? That's what everybody's asking, right? Okay, I think it's the same woman, same nose, eyebrows, face shape. She's glowing after her weight loss. Yeah, let's go back and look at her again. Yeah, you can see it's the same eyelashes, it's the same nose, but look at how much her face and her arms and her body went down. Brent, is that just unbelievable? I mean, seriously, Brent, I'd love for you to just tell me, what do you think about that? Can you even fathom losing 60 pounds in 3 months? And by the way, Brent and everybody else, no one was allowed to exercise. Nobody was allowed to exercise. They actually made them wear Fitbits. Now, why didn't they want them to exercise? Because they wanted to prove that this wasn't about diet and exercise. It was strictly about this protocol that was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And I come back, Brent. By the way, you all can buy this magazine. It's on the newsstand right now, Women's World. Look what they said about it. Over 50 protein miracle. That's their headline. That's not ours. Now, why did this end up with them with this huge, huge article? Because it was backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that nobody else has. There's no other protocol with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. The studies that are out there, maybe the 1 or 2, weren't even done by the people doing that particular thing. Like, for example, I'll read to you all from this huge study done in the Journal of the American Medical Association. In this case, it was 12 months. The title, Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. This study looked at 48 different unique randomized trials, that's their wording, 7,286 people. And essentially what they did across all those studies, they named all the major diets: keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, intermittent time-restricted eating, fasting, Cornish diet, the zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, and many, many more. They did a 12-month study just to show how ineffective. They didn't do it on purpose, but from the most amount of weight loss in a year to the least amount of weight loss across 7,000 people, all these diets, you know what it was? 10 ounces in a year. And the weight loss was 16 pounds in a year, and 25 to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. Does that sound to you like diets are working? Does that sound like something you want to be doing? But it gets much deeper than that. Let's just read one of many studies. I've got other ones here. This is from Medicare. Just came out. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. They're trying to bring healthcare costs down. Diets are not the answer. They went on. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted and other diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on these diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you doing? Why are you're following these influences? They don't have one shred of medical evidence. They're nice people. I see they're medical doctors, chiropractors, dietitians, nutritionists, workout people, weight loss coaches, health coaches. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. Why are you listening to them? Seriously, why are you listening to them? Because it's convenient? because they're giving you some simplistic answer that, oh, you can lose 20 pounds in a month and most of it's fat. Well, no, the first problem with that, it's a complete lie. You don't lose fat. You're born with a certain amount of fat, you die with a certain amount of fat, period. That's it. So this, I'll go on a diet to burn fat. Run from it. That's rubbish. Or working out, you're going to burn fat. No, you're not. But fat cells can shrink or they can expand. They can expand. Well, look at her. Look at how much she shrank. Fat cells shrank. And again, what I want to point out to all of you, right above their name, see, I don't want you to believe me. People want to get mad at me. Good, I don't care. Science doesn't give a darn about me. It only cares about the results. And so the right above the article, you can see it in blue there, the new health conversation. Can somebody put a yes to acknowledge that they see that? Bren, you see that, right? That is, Bren, that's a free website for you to go to see the medical proof. There's nothing on that site to buy. I've written 4 best-selling books. There's no books there. But Bren, aren't you sort of curious to see the medical proof? How in the world did they accomplish this? Backed up by 10 peer. There's an interview, Bren, with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world, rated the #1. He and his team created this protocol. And I'm going to explain to everybody what did they do, how did they do it, etc. Okay? So let's go to that. Let's go to Kristen, where I first started. 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. What the researchers determined after 40 years of analyzing about every diet out there. They don't have any products, they don't have a company, they're scientists. What they concluded was this, that people lost weight initially on any diet, but up to 2/3 of those people were gaining more weight than they lost in the long run. And there was a real reason for that, because when they measured on every diet, let's say someone lost 20 pounds, 25 to 40% of the weight loss was lean muscle mass. And when that happens, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you yo-yo, that's why you gain all your weight back. But more importantly, when you lose lean muscle, which is the case on every diet, it also slows down your immune system. So you're literally making yourself unhealthy by going on these diets, by counting calories. I'll prove it to you. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, give me the definition, the real definition. What is a calorie? I know that most of you are counting calories, but why? Most of you, 23 years ago, I didn't know what a calorie is either, so don't feel bad. But why are you counting calories when you don't even know what they are, or what they do, or what they don't do? See, again, awesome. I've been struggling since I was 50. I've tried them all. Bren, you haven't tried this, right? And Bren, look at, I mean, this Julie, now she's not 50. I think she's late 30s maybe, but she lost 35 pounds in 37 days. Bren, how excited would you be if you could lose even, let's say, 5 pounds a week? Like, look at what Kristen did here. Do the math. She lost 5 pounds a week. How excited would you be if you could lose 5 pounds in a week, Bren? I'll bet you'd be crazy, right? So again, Bren, I want to acknowledge, please say yes. You understand the website's free to go there. We won't contact you. This website right here, hopefully you wrote it down, the New Health Conversation. This is for all of you. So now let's talk about how did they do it? Why is this not a diet? Why is it unique? How in the world did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? Well, here's what may shock all of you. Diets have nothing to do with counting calories. Total rubbish. What your body does is this. It has a minimum amount, not of calories, but of nutrition that it needs in order for the brain, all our organs to work. When you go on a diet, what are you doing? You're reducing the quantity of the food you're consuming. Well, guess what else you're reducing? Nutrition. When your brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, it doesn't have a choice. It stops accessing the fuel in your fat cells, which is what we're intended to do, and begins to turn your muscles into fuel, absolutely slowing down your metabolism. Not up for debate. That's why you lose weight initially on these diets, and then it goes to a trickle. Then you plateau, and then you get disgusted. You quit the diet, and then you start another diet, and the same thing happens. The yo-yo over and over. Do any of you ever wonder? How did we go from 1964, 15% of America overweight and obese? In 2024, we're at 80% overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic, 50% of our kids are overweight, and a third of those kids are type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes in kids 35 years ago didn't exist. So now we're doing it to our kids. And what are we doing? We're putting them on diets. And what are all diets defined by? Counting calories. They'll tell you it's all about an energy deficiency. You know, burn more calories than you consume. You don't burn any calories, first of all. That's a complete lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells and you die with a certain number of fat cells. Who's telling you this nonsense? Calories don't mean anything to your body. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. That's what the researchers discovered. They said, wait a minute, we need a new approach. What did they do? Can we find foods with large amounts of nutrition, but small quantities? So they created a grocery list that she got, that you would get, where only 30% of what she consumed in a month came from the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Got it? 30%. Here's the key. The other 70% came from foods that you can't buy in your grocery store. These other researchers, not the one that's created this, because they don't have any products to sell. We don't have any products to sell. But those researchers had spent 20 years going around the world, to Russia, Mongolia, to Tibet in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find nutrients in food with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients of what they were going to eat, but then they created how they were going to eat. 5 days a week, she and everybody else had 4 meals a day. You heard me. They started with these exotic foods from around the world for breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world, okay? So 5 days a week, she and everybody else was having 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing, which is actually patented, invented by the researchers, who their big reward, because they don't sell anything, they don't make anything on this, was to have their 40 years of research validated. They have found they've broken the code for obesity. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. But not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she was eating 8 times a day. I didn't mispronounce it. She was eating every hour and a half to 2 hours, only those exotic foods around the world, which represented huge amounts of nutrition, but really small quantities of food. See, before you think you'd be hungry, the only reason you create hunger in your body is lack of nutrition. Not lack of calories. No, it's crazy. It's what we're doing. What we're doing is upside down, backwards, whatever. I mean, how do you justify John Hopkins' study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030? 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to you like diets are working? I mean, how crazy is this? I'm still waiting. Richard, you're very close. Very close. Let me just tighten it up just a little bit for you. He's explaining what a calorie is. Yeah. See, Ben, I'm lucky to lose 5 pounds in a month. Richard, it's off just a tiny bit. Don't get mad at me. Here's the real definition. It's the amount of heat, Richard, it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. That's it. So you were very close, but the real technical definition is the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius, okay? But thank you very much for your input. It's very rare when people even get it that close. So, and I'll confess, Richard, I didn't know what a calorie was 23 years ago either. I've spoken in hospitals, not to brag, but I have. And I'll ask the doctors most of the time, they're telling people to go on diets, calories in, calories out. And I just go to them, okay, what's the definition of a calorie? I haven't had one doctor get it right yet. So I don't know why people are being told to count calories when the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It's just a measurement. It's not a real thing. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. You're hungry for nutrition. So does this make sense to everybody? So who else would like to ask me a question? Now let me show you just a couple more of these before and after pictures. Look at this, everyone. Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Oh, what should we be doing instead of counting calories? Vicky said hello. Well, what you should be doing instead of counting calories, which the body can't count. Do you want to know what she did, how she lost 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise? Or how Kristen here lost, look at that. How many of you would give anything to be able to lose 5 pounds a week in a month? It has nothing to do with counting calories. Okay, now let me explain to you the downfall of all this propaganda about counting calories. Your body doesn't give a damn about a calorie, doesn't know what a calorie is. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. So the failing of all diets for all of you is that when you go on a diet and you reduce the amount of food you consume, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When that happens, the brain, you have no control over it. It will absolutely begin to slow down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on these crazy calorie counting diets. Then it's a trickle, then you plateau, and then no matter what you do, you can't lose any more weight. So then you come off the diet, you get everything back, and then you look for another diet, another form of counting calories, whether it's paleo or keto or Mediterranean or this time-restricted eating, which is total bogus, by the way. It's just a diet by calorie reduction. That's all it is. And see, they're still on you to count calories. No, it's nutritional reduction. So what the researchers did, just to let you know, yes, please, Vicky's asking me. Okay, who else was asking me? Crimson Rose. So what the researchers did, by the way, they're rated the top weight loss, nutrition physiologists in the entire world. They invented this because they'd done 40 years of 100 studies, thousands of people, every diet, and what they came to one conclusion: no diet worked long term. So they said, can we change it up? Let's not worry about, we're going to give people less food, but we're going to get completely new foods. We're going to only concentrate on the nutritional value in the food we're going to recommend to people. They created a grocery list. Only 30% of what she consumed came from her grocery store organic: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie counts, she wasn't counting calories. She did serving sizes. Big distinction, okay? So 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store. The other 70%, now here's a real game changer, were from other researchers, not the ones who created this, because they don't have any products to sell. They don't have a company. They're scientists. We don't sell you anything. You buy directly from these suppliers who've gone around the world for 20 years to find areas of the world where people, in some cases, were living to be 100 years old and didn't get sick because the food they were consuming had huge amounts of nutrition in very small quantities. So that's what these researchers used. 30% from the grocery store, and 70% of the food she and everybody else consumed came from these Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition. Nothing to do with calories, thank goodness. Nothing. And then they created 2 new ways of consuming the food. So 5 days a week, she was able to have 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, but no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list. Dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods from around the world. That was 5 days a week. 2 days a week, she did something that'll spin all of you out of control. She did intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time they had her eating 8 times a day. I didn't misspeak. Not 3 times, 8 times a day. Because these nutrients they were giving her were very small amounts by quantity, by bulk of food, but huge amounts of nutrition. Look at the results. Have you ever seen, any of you ever seen anything like this? Because I ask people all the time when they come on here, if they're honest, then they'll do it. To lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Pick any trainer, pick any diet, pick any gym, pick celebrity diets, pick the shot, do whatever you want to do. You show me anything like this. Yes, Crimsy, the soil in North America has become all but nutritionally bankrupt. And also, Crimson Rose, in another thing, some of the nutrients that they got from other parts of the world don't exist in North America. So it's not a question, are they just in lower amounts? They don't even exist. So these are some of the ingredients came from Mongolia and from Tibet and also from Russia, for example. So it's not a matter of was there less nutrition. There was simply nutrition that was missing. When they added it to this, well, look, again, Crimson, tell me what you think. I live in the UK and I worry about the quality of fruit and vegetables. Yeah, Crimson, you're right. You're right. It's a worldwide problem now. Crimson Rose, we have 1 billion people in the world now clinically obese. So Crimson Rose, not just overweight, clinically obese. Wow, you're up kind of late, isn't it? About 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. I love your country. About 30 years ago, I went there every month for 10 days. I used to stay in London. I go running in Kensington Park, and you'll get a kick out of this. In all that time of going there, I got rained on once. I don't know, maybe I was really lucky, but oh my God, you have the greenest. It's so green. It's great. The only thing I didn't like was the warm beer. That's just me as an American, right? But I love your country. Oh my God, Australia. Yes, totally. Australia, New Zealand. This is all. Well, some of the ingredients come from New Zealand, for crying out loud. Your neighbor. So, but right now it's about. Let me tell. In Melbourne, let me see if I'm right. Isn't it like 9 in the morning? Am I correct? Melissa, is that right? Is it 9 in the morning? And if you're in Sydney, and I think if you're in Melbourne, I think it's an hour later, or hour early, because we have a bunch of people now that are doing this in Australia, in New Zealand, in the UK, in Finland. I mean, it's around the world, wherever these suppliers supply. I have nothing to do with that. I don't sell you anything. We don't have any products. We provide all the coaching for free. Now, it's 8 in the morning. Okay, Melissa. Now, I don't know, do you women get this magazine can you see it there, Women's World? This just came out 3 days ago in the United States. It's the #1 circulated women's magazine in the entire world. I didn't know if you get it in the UK or you get it in Australia. But look, that's the cover story where the mom, who's 80 years old, and the daughter 57, the daughter lost 50 pounds, it'd be 25 kilos for my friends in the UK or in Australia, and the mom lost 45 kilos in 9 months. They've both kept it off for over 2 years. This is major news, major. But more than that, also for both of you, it also is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And I'm not sure, Crimson Rose or Melissa, if you're, how much weight you really want to lose. But the people that are doing this, we've got people in Melbourne. I know that's why I knew kind of what the time was, right? I was off a little bit, but it was close. So again, okay, can we get some more taps on that screen? We got international people. We got people from all over the world on this call today. But so for Melissa and also for Lucy, etc. What I want you to pay attention to, if you want to, is the website, which is free to go to. You see it there right in blue, right above the magazine article, The New Health Conversation. Now, what's there? Only the medical proof. We will not contact you if you go there, but even in the UK or in Australia or New Zealand, yes, we got WhatsApp or we Zoom most of the time with you, because right now I'm in Denver. It's only 4:15 in the afternoon, just to give you an idea. So I believe it's 18 hours difference. That would be pretty, it's 18 hours. Or 16 hours, I guess, because it's 8 in the morning, it's 4 in the afternoon here, so 12, 14 hours. Okay, but close enough. But again, that website, if you go there, we won't contact you. But you can see right above, free coaching to ensure your success. If you like what you see, you can scroll down and you can literally get a free coach the whole time. And we're coaching people all over the world where the suppliers, that's governed by them, not by us, where they're able to ship to. Because again, these ingredients are coming from all over the world. They're coming from Russia, Mongolia, from Tibet, from South America, yes, and New Zealand, to just name a few, right? Oh, good. We're getting a lot of taps now. We're up to 667 likes. Please, everybody, just tap on that just a little bit. So Crimson Rose, does that make sense? Does that make sense? The local soil is malnourished. It is. And you're very, very astute in looking at that. So again, let me explain to all of you one more time, what did they do to create these results? It wasn't about counting calories, okay? It was about a basic principle that would sound silly or easy. It was only about nutrition. Now, this may be a totally different definition than you've ever heard before. All a diet is reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. I don't care what the name is. At the end of the day, it's some form of that. And by doing that, you're lowering nutrition below the minimums required by your brain to run all the organs in your body. So when the brain senses there's not enough nutrition, not enough calories, that's nothing to do with calories. When it has less nutrition, what does it do? It stops gaining the fuel in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you all plateau in these diets. You've heard the term, I think, even in the UK and in New Zealand and Australia, yo-yo diets. You lose the weight, gain it all back. You lose the weight, gain it all back. Well, it's because you've lost your lean muscle mass, and there's no way you're going to make up for that, okay? So the researchers said, we need to figure out how can we give the body more nutrition and still give it less food by quantity, not by quality. You got it, everybody? Does it make sense? All right, so here's what they did. The two, by the way, I'm pretty proud. I coached these two women. I actually know them. They're my friends. They're remarkable. The daughter is a nurse, and obviously the mom, I mean, 80 years old, losing 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 2 years. So what the researchers did, they put together a food list. 30% of what they consume came from the grocery store, wherever you are, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you, Melissa or Lucy or any Krim and Rose, instead of giving you calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes. Very important, because it's not based on calories. It's based on the amount of nutrition that you can put into your body. So 30% came from your grocery store. Whether you're in the UK or Australia, you have the same grocery list. But the other 70% is not in your grocery store, and those foods came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had basically the ingredients. Everybody got that? Now I'm going to make it simple for you. The key to this was then, or the other 50% of the success was based on the recipe, how they ate, when they eat, how much. So 5 days a week, and you would do the same thing, they had 4 meals a day. Yep, 4 meals, starting with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from your grocery store list, dinner from your grocery store list, and a 4th meal from these exotic foods after dinner. So 4 meals a day, 5 days a week. Everybody got that? 2 days out of 7, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, they let them eat 8 times a day. That's why it's called nutritional fasting. Those days, no food from the grocery, just these exotic foods. But there were very small quantities if you looked at the bulk. But the nutritional density was everything. That's why they were able to basically fast with nutrition. You could never do this with regular food. It would never work. The results speak for themselves. I mean, again, and I don't know if Melissa or Crimson or Lucy, if you saw this, this is the daughter of a friend of mine. So that would be, for all of you, that's 30 kilos in 3 months. That's 10 kilos a month. Obviously in pounds, it's 60 pounds, which would be 20 pounds. Well, 5 pounds a week, or 2.5 kilos per week. What would you think about that, Lucy or Melissa or Crimson Rose? Oh, Lucy already said, wow. But look at her. Look at her, Lucy. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Do you know most people, Melissa's saying the same thing. Do you women believe that's the same woman? I really want your opinion. I really want your feedback. This is really important. What do you think? Or Crimson Rose, or Melissa, or any of you, please comment. I'm dying to know. Do you think it's the same woman? I'm waiting for your replies. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. No, Chivita Cow, absolutely not. She looks like a different person. Great. It's the same person. It's the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. That picture was taken 8 years ago. Absolutely the same person. But it's great that you, because look at the change. Look at the change in her. It's not. No, it's the same woman. I mean, I know her. I'm telling you. Don't think it's just because her lips. Well, look at how much heavier she was on the left versus the right. But there's more. I mean, look at Kristen, everybody. That's only a month, 21 pounds, 5 pounds a day. But that's what April lost. Look she lost 5 pounds a week. I mean, I understand you'd all think it's a different person. It's not a different person. Why would I? Look, it's my friend's, well, not that one, this one here. It's my friend's daughter. He'd be upset with me if I was photoshopping pictures of his. Well, I don't know, maybe she did. I don't know about that. But I promise, listen, I have 2 boys on their lives and my 4 grandkids. It's the same person. Now, this is pretty amazing, although you'll know this is the same man. This is an older gentleman, everybody. Look at that. 40 pounds, that's 20 kilos and 52 inches in 30 days. But look at his medical results. If you understand about A1C, that's blood sugar, it went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. But you're all familiar with triglycerides. They went from 242 to 124 in 30 days. Now, let's go back and look at the 2 women. So the daughter there, now remember, this is the #1 women's magazine in the world. What do you think? They faked the cover for us? For the people that did this? I mean, she lost 50 pounds in 90 days. I mean, April lost 60 pounds. She lost a little bit more in 90 days. What is sad is that we've all created such skepticism by accepting things that are so, the bar is so low. You all know you get excited about maybe a half a kilo a week, or for us, a pound a week on diets. Don't we all agree with that? I mean, how many of you, my face is so puffy in my upper arms, can't lose, I can't shift it. Melissa, Melissa, be honest. What do you think about her? Her name's April. She's the daughter of a friend of mine. Melissa, what would you think if that could happen to you? How excited would you be? Put it in the chat for me. Yeah, Lucy. No, it's not a different woman. I understand. Look, I support you, but I know her. She's a friend of mine. She's the daughter of a friend of mine, right? She looks fabulous. I'd be over the moon. Yeah. So for all of you, Melissa and Lucy and Chalita, and who else do we have here? I know we had somebody else that was commenting. Again, all of you, acknowledge you can see the website above the article or above the magazine, the New Health Conversation. It's free to go there, all of you. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down. You can see free coaching. It's free coaching the whole time through, because the only reason, well, there's many reasons to do it, but one of the big reasons is maintenance. So I lost 40 pounds at 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept that off for 23 years. I would hope that's what would excite you. I would hope that's what would get you interested in doing this. But I don't want you to believe me. Go see the medical proof. And if you like what you see, scroll down and you get a free coach. Sounds pretty good to me. And again, in review, 30% of what you would consume, you get a grocery list, you just take it to your grocery store. The other 70%, the coaches show you how to order these other nutrients, foods from around the world directly from the suppliers. You don't order anything from the coaches. The coaches don't have anything to sell you. I know it sounds good to be true for most of you, but again, how crazy is this? I mean, Melissa, do you understand you could have we always say this, just give us 4 days, because typically within the first 4 days, when you get on the scale on the 5th morning, you will think your scale broke. I'm not kidding you. Most women lose a whole dress size in 7 days. So for any of the women out there, let me know, what would you think about that? If you could lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise, and they're not against exercise, please don't hear me say that. But this is so amazing, because all of you I know are struggling so much. If you're on a diet, you're miserable. Let's be honest. You're starving to death from a nutritional standpoint, not for calories. That's so ridiculous. The body doesn't know what a calorie is. Why are you counting calories? My friends in the UK or my friends in Australia, why are you counting calories? I'd love anybody put in the chat for me. I'm serious. I would love to know. I think I know the answer, because 20, 30 years ago, I was counting calories too, before I became a researcher. before I learned that counting calories was just complete and utter nonsense. I would love to lose about 10 kilograms. I'm currently... Okay, so Melissa, I'm telling you right now, there's no reason you can't do what Kristen did. How about losing that 10 kilos in 30 days? How much? Tell me how excited you'd be if you could do that. I mean, look at, but the other thing I want you to look at, all the women, because you're more sensitive to this than I am, but look at from her hips. Look at day 1, look at the hips, and then the stomach and the abdomen, and then look at day 30. Do you see that, everybody? Yeah, Lucy, it would be amazing. I got it, Lucy, I get it. And I'm not mad at you to think it's a different woman, because it's not a different, but look, seriously, assuming we didn't Photoshop that, which we didn't, it's not AA. But so Melissa or Lucy, what do you think about that body transformation? By the way, that was with no exercise allowed. Now, if you want to exercise, of course you can exercise. That's what your coach will go over with you. That is me, Melissa. That's what you're saying. Wow. You're talking, that's Kristen, that's about how you look right now. Is that what you're saying? Not that that's bad, I mean, compared to most people, but you can see, look at the hip area and the stomach and the abdomen. Again, Melissa or Lucy, please, somebody comment on that. What do you think about that? Would that excite you? I mean, if you could drop a whole dress size in a week with no exercise, would that excite you? I'll bet it would. So, who else would like to ask me a question? I'm going to probably go maybe another 10 minutes or so because I've got another big conference call I need to get ready for. But again, for all of you, Lucy, Melissa, I'm just inviting you. Go to the website. We won't contact you. I swear we won't contact you. The New Health Conversation. Look at the medical proof, and if you like what you see, scroll down and sign up for a free coach. I don't know how to make it any fairer than that. You don't buy anything from us. You're buying food. This isn't some product. There's no products. You're getting a grocery list to go to your grocery store, and you're getting the other food groups you buy directly from the suppliers. Most people say, how expensive is it? Most people say when they look at only whatever they spent last month, 30% of that from the grocery store, the other 70% almost pays for the foods from around the world. But look at the results you're getting. It's almost like it's on. I understand why you would say that that's a different woman. No, it's not. No, it's not. Let's just have some fun and laugh a little bit. I get it. I'm not surprised that you would say that, any of you. I get it. Is this out of the norm? I mean, how many of you have ever known anybody that lost even 60 pounds, let alone in 3 months, with no exercise? And granted, she's younger. I mean, now she's older, because that was, like I said, 8 or 9 years ago, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I just want all of you to be able to experience this. I'm going to check it out now. Would foods get past? Oh, they have an office in Melbourne and Sydney, as far as I know. So there's no problem with customs. It's already been approved in the country. I think they've been in there for like 8 or 10 years, to be quite honest with you. So that's not. So Angel McKenna, how did she do that? Right? Okay, I'm glad you came on, because this is how I'm going to end this podcast, explaining exactly. But let's go to a shorter period of time, just so you can see this, Angel. So effectively, what she did was invented by the top weight loss nutrition and physiologists in the world. And what they concluded, the reason diets didn't work after 40 years of research, over 100 studies they did, thousands of people on every diet, was one simple fact. Dieting had nothing to do with counting calories. It only had to do with nutrition. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that you right now have a certain amount of nutrition that you need in order for all your organs in your body to work, your brain, your heart, your kidney, your lungs, okay? When you go on a diet, what you're really doing, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. I think I'll get a consensus on that. But what they never tell you is when you lower that amount of food, what else you're lowering? Nutrition. When you lower the nutrition, the brain figures out there's not enough fuel. That's why you lose weight initially. Then it slows down, then it's a trickle, and then you plateau. And no matter what you do, you can't lose any more weight. You come off the diet, you get everything back. Because what's happening by you going on that diet and lowering the amount of nutrition, the brain triggers starvation mode and turns your muscles into fuel, which is unbelievably unhealthy because not only does it slow down your metabolism, it slows down your own immune system. So the researchers said, no, we need to come up with a way to give people less food, but find food with way more nutrition. And that's what they did. They developed a grocery list for her and everybody else. So 30% of what she ate in a month came from her grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruit. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Very important. 30% of what she consumed. The other 70% came from other food sources from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition and nutrients that don't exist in North America. So now 30% of her food came from the grocery store and 70% came from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented 2 new ways for her to consume food 5 days a week. She had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. Has everybody got that? 5 days a week, you'd be having 4 meals a day. It has a name. It's called protein pacing. It's patented by the researchers. They don't have any products. They don't sell anything. So don't get that out of your mind. We don't sell you anything. Then, so 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fast, not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. She was fasting with nutrition. How did they do that? No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. 8 times a day. So she was having something every hour and a half or 2 hours over the course of an entire day. Look at the results, everybody. Fantastic. How have I not heard of this? Because it really takes, first of all, Melissa, one of the things, this would never sell in like a store. Every person gets a coach, because how you do this is as critical as anything else. But Melissa and everybody else, is this making perfect? Do you understand why it works? Lucy, Melissa, all of you, Angel, do you understand now how it works? It was totally on a whole new concept. They found, these are the top nutrition researchers in the world. They put the food groups together, foods you buy at your grocery store, but those other foods, they didn't find them. They don't sell them, but they found, the researchers did find those foods. But then imagine, 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. Melissa, how does that sound to you? Or to Lucy, or any of you? And then 2 days a week, you're going to eat 8 times a day. See, just get out of your mind quantities. Get out of your mind calories. That has nothing to do with this. And again, I want to show all of you one last time. Now, for those of you that aren't in North America, I'm not sure. This is considered the #1 women's magazine in the world, called Women's World. Maybe they sell it in the UK and Australia. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But this is the cover story about this. And you see the title, Over 50 Protein Miracle. And I coach these 2 women. I know them. I mean, the daughter's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom at 80 lost 91 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off now for 2 years. I would hope that's of some interest to you. And right above the magazine cover, you see the New Health Conversation. You all get to go there for free. There's nothing to buy there. We're not going to contact you. The only way we'll contact you is if you scroll down, there's a place, free coach. The coaching's free. How does that sound? Pretty good? So, who else would like to ask me a question before we close this out? I'm going to go maybe another 5 minutes, unless someone has a quote or someone's coming on late and wondering what the heck did they do. So Melissa and Lucy, are you clear now what they did? And just give me a yes. You see the website, you're going to go there. I hope you will anyway. But I just want you to know where to go is the New Health Conversation. Okay? Great, Lucy. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And when you fill it out, the coaches, they're used to dealing with people all over the world. They'll either do WhatsApp to be able to call you, text you, or they'll set up a Zoom call, which they prefer to do, to be quite honest with you, okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, we're at 1,600 likes. That's good. Geez, I'd like a few more taps if your fingers haven't worn out, everybody. Let's try to get to 2,000 because I'm only going to go about another 4 or 5 minutes. So, Harmony. Hello, Harmony. Oh, we got some more. Just tap on that screen. Let's get some more likes. See, it's hard for people to believe that something like this exists. I know. But what makes it real are these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, which you get to see most of the studies on the website. It's right there. And an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. Sounds pretty good to me, right? Okay, 2,000. Thank you all. Woo, woo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, well, you're still going. We're at 2,100. People are really excited about. Did you all appreciate the concept? Because the research I'm sharing with you, I didn't do it. I'm the researcher of the researchers. It appears that you all really liked it. I'm getting lots of hearts. 2,200. Wow, it's going up like crazy. Well, don't give up. Keep tapping on the screen until I end this. But would anybody else like to ask me a question before I do close out this podcast? Oh, we're at 2,300 likes. Fantastic. Wonderful. What a great audience. And I hope I've really brought some knowledge to all of you that you can apply. And just like you said, Melissa, why have I never heard of it before? Because it does take some explanation, as you can see. And then you need a coach. We got coached. We didn't know how to do this either when we did it. All I can tell you is I lost 20 kilos in 7 weeks 23 years ago, and I've kept it off for 23 years. Hard to believe it's been 23 years, but it has. I don't even think about it anymore because I've been able to maintain, which Melissa and Lucy and everybody else. The main reason to do this is maintenance. And their coaches will show you how to, look, those 2 women, they've kept the weight off now for 2 years. And they're going strong, right? Carla Thomas, you see, Carla, do you see right there above the article, the new health conversation? Do you see that, Carla? Give me a yes or a no. That's the website you go to. You get to look at the medical proof first, Carla. We won't contact you. Yes, okay, good. So you see it right there. Write it down, the new health conversation. You Google that. You go in there. You're going to see all the medical proof. And then if you like what you see, you simply scroll down, sign up for a free coach. It's 100% free, Carla. There's no consultation fees. There's no ongoing fees. It's 100% free. They're people that have done it. And they're coaching, volunteering their time basically for free because someone coached us. Does that make sense, Carla? So you're going to get the coaches, but we want you first to be comfortable to see the medical proof. And #1, know it's safe and know it's legitimate, and see there's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, Carla, who explains all of this. Isn't that neat? Isn't that cool? So I'm assuming it's a yes as far as where you get the free coaches. You go to the New Health Conversation, everybody first, and then you scroll down. Wow, I'm almost at 3,000. You're spoiling me, everybody. This is wonderful. Thank you. So a few more taps. Let's get to 3,000. I know you're all bribing me to stay longer, but I can't help it. I've got another big conference call that I need to do with a bunch of people that had made an appointment with me a couple days ago. Okay, let's get to 3,000. Come on, I know. Oh, we're at 3,000. Fabulous, fabulous. So Carla and Angel and Lucy and Melissa and any of the rest of you, I urge you, go to that website that could change the rest of your lives. Carla, do you know that most tomorrow probably around this same time for you, and I'm on earlier in the States, but I normally come on around 8 or 8:30 your time every day. So I'll be back on if you want to Google it right now, Angela. Great, great. But Carla, imagine how excited, Carla, would you be if you could lose a whole dress size in 7 days, 7 days, sorry, with no exercise? Would that excite you? I always tell women that the most expensive part of this is the new wardrobe you're going to have to buy because you are going to shrink. Well, look at Kristen. Look at her waist. Look at how much she went down in 30 days. Are you kidding me? Maybe you think it's Photoshop, but it's not. That's real. Ah, great, Carla. So again, everybody, in closing, you can see, wow, we're at 3,300. You're all spoiling me. Thank you. But that website right there, Carla, I know you said yes, the New Health Conversation, that's for all of you or anybody coming on late. I want that, Melissa. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say, I guess, good morning to my new friends in Australia, to good night to my friends in the UK, to afternoon to my people in California, because this podcast is going all over the world, thank goodness, because of all of you. Now, one thing I would tell you, Carla or Melissa or any of you, oh, okay, Angel. But in the meantime, Angel, go to the website. That's really even more important. Does that make sense? Give me a yes, Angel, if you can see it there, the New Health Conversation. Need more info. That's where you're going to get the more info, Angel. Do you see it? Give me a yes or a no under right above the magazine article. Oh, someone put a heart there. That's cool. That was you, Melissa. Oh, thank you, thank you. But Angel, do you see the website? Oh, you just Googled it. Okay, great. Study it, look at it. You're more than welcome to be on the podcast tomorrow at 8, well, be 8 a.m. You said 8 p.m. Yeah, I think you meant to say 8 a.m. Are you in the UK or are you in the United States? Angel, I think aren't you in the UK or, I'm sorry, you're in the UK. So it is 8 o'clock your time. Okay, I'm confused about okay, good, yeah. So 8 o'clock your time, that would be accurate. Yes, fine, good. All right, everybody, I'm going to say good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world watching this podcast. Thank you all so much for being there. And like I said, I hope you will go to the New Health Conversation to see all the medical proof, okay? Bye, everybody.